schedule for today?
If you can sit on those chairs.
Mr. Chairman, what's the train schedule for today?
Well, the train runs on time, unlike the bus. But just kidding, just kidding. I'm glad you guys are all late because there's more apple pumpkin muffins and donuts for me.
I'm just gonna put this high on.
Yes, yeah, and please help yourselves. It is delicious. They both are.
It's hard. No.
All right. Well, it's very nice to see everybody. Did everybody have a great tour? Good. Yeah, I went on that tour as well, and it's really fantastic. Amazing to see the radar that covers the entire West Coast. See a little bit of the Space Force. I heard you guys didn't get a chance to chase any U-2 planes this time, but maybe next time. Maybe next time. Okay, I'm going to call our meeting to order here, our September 18 SACOG board meeting. For the Pledge of Allegiance, I hear there's a retired U-2 pilot in the audience. And so, Lenny Spiegel, thank you for your service, sir. Would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance? It'd be our honor.
Oh,
And how we just read.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, Mr. Spiegel. Okay, Madam Clerk, if we could take the roll, please.
good morning.
Thank you for being here today. I'll go ahead with roll. Director Andreotti.
Present.
Dane.
Present. Here.
Greg.
Yes, ma'am.
Here.
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 Adam. Present. Kirby. Absent Joshua.
Great to be here in the Bear Creek watershed.
Fairfield. Absent Jenny.
Here.
Jones. Here. Kennedy.
Here.
Kozlowski.
Here.
Lloyd.
Here.
Mabel.
Here.
Tony. Absent Rodriguez. Absent Fletcher Sanders. Absent Representative Thompson or Schaefer. Cedar.
Here.
Pearson.
Here.
Vega.
Here.
Barajas or Vega.
Here.
Vice Chair Diana.
Here.
Pearson.
Here.
Here.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to our public comments portion of the agenda. Is there anybody here that would like to speak on any items not on the agenda? I don't have any speakers in front of me. Do we have anybody calling in, Lynette, or anything? Okay, seeing none. Wanted to also make sure that we have any conflicts that need to be declared. Does anyone have any conflicts they need to declare on the agenda? Yes, Angel.
Yes, Chair. Item number 11 and 13 for myself. I'm recusing myself from items 11, 13. This item involved a contract or subcontract involving Rise Incorporated, and I believe it's appropriate for me to recuse myself. My wife is the executive director of that organization.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let the record show items 11 and 13. Director Barras will recuse himself. All right. Now, I also want to, before I move on to the regular agenda, I wanted to make a couple of announcements. So now's the time of year we start selecting a new vice chair for 2026. And so I have a nominating committee here that we have, and I want to thank these individuals for volunteering and being part of this committee. Directors Andreotti, Boomgarden, Chapman, Lauren, Sander, Schaefer, Teeter, and Chair Dowden Calvillo, who chaired this committee. Thank you all for your volunteerism, I should say. Also, if you're interested in being the vice chair next year, please submit your request to Lynette by October 10th, Friday, October 10th. So once we receive these nominations, the committee will discuss these candidates, and then we'll announce it before the full board on December 18th for a vote. Any questions or comments about that? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to our presentation and do our formal welcome. We're very happy to be here. I'm going to defer to Director Teeter for the welcoming message. Good morning.
Good morning. Is it okay if I sit here?
Sure.
Okay. All right. As the mayor of Wheatland, it's my honor to welcome you all here today. Wheatland may be small on paper, home to just about 3,800 residents across roughly 8 square miles. But what makes our city truly special cannot be measured in numbers. The heart of Wheatland is found in its people. Wheatland has always been a town defined by its people, hardworking, neighborly, and deeply connected to one another. While we may be a small community in size, our pride, our history, and our vision for the future are anything but small. For generations, Wheatland has been a place where families put down roots, where businesses grow, and where community thrives. From our agricultural beginnings to the opportunities we are creating today, the city is built on tradition, resilience, and progress. Wheatland is also proud to be surrounded by landmarks and institutions that shape our community. Just a few miles away is Campfire West Lake, which provides irrigation water for farmers, flood control, and recreation for our citizens. And to our east, Beale Air Force Base stands as both a neighbor and a source of pride, with the men and women who serve there contributing not only to our nation's security, but also to the strength and vibrancy of our local community. We are proud to welcome new families, support longtime residents, and continue building a city where every voice matters. Together, we are shaping Wheatland into not only a great place to live, but a place we are proud to pass on to the next generation. So once again, I extend a warm welcome and my gratitude for your presence. I look forward to the discussions ahead and the continued growth and success of Wheatland, California. Okay.
Thank you so much, Director Teeter. And I know we are expecting Glenda Nelson from the Enterprise Rancheria, but she couldn't make it today. So I'm going to tee up Director Bradford to say a few words.
Good morning and welcome to Yuba County and the 4th District, the best district in Yuba County. And also I want to thank the City of Wheatland and Director Teeter and Bishop's Pumpkin Farm for hosting us today. It's an amazing venue and I'm excited to be able to visit it often. And now we're excited to be able to share it with the rest of you. So I just wanted to talk real quickly about the development that's occurring nearby here in Yuba County Sports and Entertainment Zones. So back in 1998, the voters of Yuba County voted to rezone about 1,000 acres of agriculture along 40-mile road and Highway 65 to a sports and entertainment designation. Shortly after that, the Times Sacramento Valley Amphitheater was constructed, an 18,000-seat amphitheater that's today known as the Toyota Amphitheater. It's a great venue. I'm sure many of you have enjoyed an outdoor concert there. Shortly after that time, so in the early 2000s, the Enterprise Rancheria Drive obtained 40 acres in the area and started the process to take that into trust to build a gaming facility there, which they did, and it opened in 2019, the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain, which is an amazing facility with great dining, great entertainment through Hard Rock Live. And the tribe and Hard Rock have plans to expand the entertainment in the area even further. And they've worked to secure the 350 acres between the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino and the amphitheater, and have plans to develop 3 different zones there. So the first of those zones is going to be called the Destination Retail Zone. And while the specific tenants are not yet known, if you've been to Disney Springs, that would be a description, my words, of what this is envisioned to be. So really a place that has entertainment, retail, dining, very walkable, maybe some water features, just a great place to come and hang out and do some shopping and dining. Then next to that, they plan to construct a resort zone where they hope to secure a tenant that has an indoor-outdoor water park, similar to like a Grey Wolf Lodge kind of concept, has some convention space so that we can host some great conventions here in Yuba County, probably some other hotel space as well. And then finally, as a nod to the agricultural and rodeo heritage here in Yuba County, they want to have a fairgrounds and rodeo zone. So for some outdoor festivals, for rodeos, things of that nature. So we are very, very excited about this project and having more people have a reason to come and visit Yuba County, and not just visit and go home, but to stay here and enjoy all that we have to offer. So thank you, Chair Singh.
You bet. Thank you, Director Bradford. And we really appreciate the Yumika Maidu tribe. This facility will offer a great amenity to the surrounding community, but also be resource for the tribe as well. And while we're talking about your district, I also want to give a shout out to Lisa Mara, District Director for Congressman LaMalfa, who represents the area. Thank you for being here, Lisa. Yeah. Okay, moving on to our consent calendar.
Chair.
Yeah, yes.
I wanted to ask Supervisor Bradford and Mayor Teeter, if you go east of Wheatland, what is that marker east of Wheatland? What does that historic marker recognize?
The historical marker was when the Donner Party came through here, and we do plan on expanding the city eastward, and we're going to preserve that area. If you go up about a mile into that land, there's actually the old roadways, and you can see the wagon wheels. And so we're going to work on historic preservation out there as we grow.
And as you come into Wheatland from Placer County, on the right, just before you get to town, there's a piece of agriculture there. There was something pretty historic happened in the early 1900s involving beer.
The hop riots. Yes, we will be touching on that on the presentation later today.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No,
All right.
you're giving
Nice
away my
setup, though.
thunder.
Nice setup, Director Aldershot.
All
We're gonna get to it.
Permission to leave.
Okay, on to the consent calendar. Does anyone have any questions or comments on the consent calendar and want to remove any items for discussion?
I'll second the consent calendar.
I need to hear a motion first.
Same here,
Okay.
please.
You're keeping with the theme of jumping the gun here. Okay, moved by Donna Calvillo, seconded by Director Aldershot. Any more conversations on this matter? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Thank you.
And Chair Soon, there's no public comment on the consent.
Thank you very much. See what happens,
Yeah.
Director Aldershot? You keep me going. All right.
Lynetta.
By the way, I need to reflect the abstention for the minutes on my part. I was not here at the last meeting, and thank you for chairing, Vice Chair. All right.
Chair,
Uh,
Chair, can I also abstain too, because I was not here?
Okay, and
I did not read the minutes.
Director Bras would like to abstain as well. Okay, now we are on to our long-awaited Wheatland workshop today. Really excited to learn more about Wheatland. I'm sure we'll hear more about what Director Aldershot was talking about. I'll defer back to you, Director Teeter.
All right, thank you. Let me see if I can work this clicker. All right, so I get to present to you the history of Wheatland. Let's see.
That was perfect.
Right on
My
time.
goodness.
Reading
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, so did I do it right? Okay, I think I'm there. All right.
Close these. Hold on, Angela. Can we close these doors so people, can you guys see that? Okay.
I think it might be too hot.
Here you go, Mr. Chair.
That might be hot.
Just for a few minutes,
gonna be so
just so we
hot.
can see.
I can see it.
Turn the lights off. Yeah. So hot.
What's a little breeze there?
I know, right? Hey, maybe they.
Is that a little better? Is it better? Okay.
Eh,
I'd rather have
Right.
That's what he said. Okay,
All right.
please proceed.
All right, so Wheatland's roots stretched back to the mid-1800s during the height of the California Gold Rush. As word spread of the fertile farmland in this valley, settlers were drawn not here by the glitter of gold, but by the promise of rich soil and opportunity. By 1866, the community officially adopted the name Wheatland in recognition of the grain that sustained families and fueled economic growth. Am I doing this clicker right? There we go. All right. In 1874, Wheatland became an incorporated city in Yuba County, a milestone that marked the town's independence and commitment to self-governance. From the very beginning, Wheatland was a community defined by resilience, determination, and a belief in building something lasting. All right. Agriculture shaped our early years. Wheat, hops, and fruit orchards became the backbone of our economy. Wheatland was essentially known for its hop fields, which brought workers from across the state and the country. But this growth also placed Wheatland at the center of a pivotal moment in history in California. In 1913, the Wheatland Hop Riot took place when farm workers protested poor working conditions on the Durst Ranch. The confrontation ended tragically, but it became one of the first major labor uprisings in California, sparking reforms and giving voice to workers in agricultural. It's a powerful reminder that even our small town has played a role in shaping statewide history.
Every week I play dominoes with a lifelong friend of mine, Roger Manuel, and it was his grandfather who was district attorney, Yuba County District Attorney at the time, who was shot and killed during the
way.
Wheatland riots.
Crazy. I do have to say too, the Durst Ranch where this did take place, there's a family in Wheatland that has some of the original hops from it. And I get to go get a seedling of that very soon. So I'll be able to hold on to a little bit of Wheatland history. So
Excellent.
all right, Wheatland has also seen its share of challenges. Floods in the 19th and 20th centuries tested our endurance, and economic shifts often forced families to adapt. Yet through it all, our community spirit never wavered. Families built schools, churches, and businesses. Neighbors supported one another through harvest, hard times, and celebrations. The spirit of unity is still alive in Wheatland today. Our history is not just one of struggle, but of growth and progress. From the arrival of the railroad that connected Wheatland to larger markets to the continued expansion of farming and ranching, our city has always found a way to thrive. More recently, the annexation of over 4,000 acres of land has set the stage for future growth, ensuring that Wheatland continues to evolve while staying true to its roots. I am going to take a moment to thank Bishop's Pumpkin Farm for hosting and give a little bit of history on them as well. Bishop's Pumpkin Farm is one of Wheatland's proudest traditions. What began in 1973 when Bill and Sandy Bishop planted a single acre of pumpkins has grown into one of the largest and most beloved pumpkin farms in the nation. Today, the Bishop's family welcomes roughly 400,000 visitors each year, provides jobs for our local residents, and offers thousands of children the chance to experience the joy of farm life. Bishop's Farm is a multi-generational family business and the world's largest self-picking pumpkin patch. And even though they are open seasonally, they have a huge impact on our economy. Just so you know, they're roughly open from beginning of September to November, so a very short window. This year, they hired 925 seasonal employees and 25 full-time employees. They paid roughly $345,000 in sales tax, $170,000 staying local, $163,000 in property tax, and $145,000 in ticket sales, which 5% comes to our city. So thank you so much for hosting SACOG today, and I hope everyone enjoys seeing the farm and spend some time here afterwards. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for hosting and Bishop's Pumpkin Ranch. I used to bring my kids here as well. I told some of you, and very fond memories. I can't believe how much it's grown. All these buildings here I have not seen, so it's been that long. Any comments, further comments from the directors? I'm looking at Director Haldershot.
I thought that was a wonderful presentation.
I agree, absolutely. All right, and when have we ever had a meeting in a barn? I mean, this is fantastic. I came in wearing a sports coat and I just feel like I committed a POFA. I had to take it off right away. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I didn't bring jeans. Yes. Okay, moving on to our information items. So next on our agenda.
Chair soon.
Yeah,
I think we have,
close. Do we have more?
hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, there's more.
Bill Zanoni,
Did I
the
miss
city
something?
manager, he's going to do the Wheatland Today
Oh,
presentation.
I'm sorry.
And then Lon is going to follow.
Couple of guest speakers.
Yes.
Good morning. For those, that's not as sturdy as I thought. For those of you that I haven't met, I'm Bill Zanoni. I'm city manager for the city of Wheatland. And I want to thank you all for coming today. I know this is a drive for a lot of you, but we're pleased you came out here, and we're hoping this sets the bar for your future meeting. So what I'm going to cover in the next 10, 15 minutes is, I put my glasses on so I can see. We're going to talk a little bit about the city of Wheatland. I want to touch on just a couple of the major projects that we're working on, talk a little bit about our economic opportunities and our challenges that we're facing, and then just wrap up with the project support that we're getting from you all at SACOG. So just a little bit of background on the city. As Angela mentioned, the city was incorporated in 1874. Last year, we celebrated our 150th anniversary. We had a 150th anniversary committee that was headed by our vice mayor at the time and a group of citizens. And we had a number of events through the year so we celebrated. This was our logo, city logo for last year. The city of Wheatland is governed by 5 city council members. They're elected at large. Right now, we're a pretty small city. We have just 28 employees, which is at times is a challenge. Our total city budget is just over $11 million. Our general fund budget, which funds most of the day-to-day operations of the city, is just $3 million. So with those limited dollars, this is a full service city. We have the typical administration and finance activities. We have a police department. We have fire service in Wheatland. We don't have our own fire department. We're part of a joint powers authority with the Plumas Brophy Fire District. So between our 2 agencies, we form the Wheatland Fire Authority, which you drove by this morning. Those of you that went on the tour, we drove by on our way out to Beale. Our Public Works Department does typical public works work. They maintain our parks and they do street maintenance as well. We have 2 utilities, water and sewer, and we contract out right now. That will change at some point in the future, but right now we contract out for engineering, community development and planning, and legal services. Our population has been growing. It's been growing steadily but slowly. Right now, we have just over 4,000 residents in the city of Wheatland. The median household income is just over $81,000. And maybe more of interest to SACOG, Wheatland has 38 miles of roadway that we are that go through the city. We have, within the city of Wheatland, we have 5 parks. We have a community garden that we just expanded, and this is a plot of land that the city put garden boxes on. And we have our citizens. We have 1 citizen that volunteers to kind of oversee it for us, and he is the community garden police, is what I call him. But we have citizens that come in and plant their gardens and maintain it. And so that's something that's very popular in this city. We also have a community center that is available to the public to use. And transit service in Wheatland is provided by Yuba Sutter Transit, and Yuba Sutter Transit provided the bus this morning that took you out to Beale. So I think my point with this is we're a small city with a limited budget, but I think we try and stretch those dollars as far as we can. Our citizens expect full service, and they let us know when we're not providing it, and so we try to rise to that challenge. Just a couple of the major projects that we're working on, and this right now is by far the biggest. I don't know if any of you have heard of this project. If you haven't, you will in the very near future, I'm sure. This is our South County infrastructure is a project that we've been planning for the last 6 years. Wheatland has a wastewater treatment plant that is maybe half a mile at the most, quarter of a mile from where we are today. That plant is over 60 years old. It's environmentally challenged. There's significant pollution risk. The processes that it follows for treatment and disposal of waste is not up to current standards. We looked at the possibility of building a new treatment plant on our own, and it was beyond cost prohibitive. So what we have been doing is we have been working on a regional solution, and we've partnered with Olivehurst Public Utility District, Yuba Water Agency, and Yuba County. And what we are going to be constructing, we're going to decommission our plant. We're going to build a regional wastewater system that will start here. We're going to develop pipeline and pump stations that transport the wastewater from Wheatland up to Olivehurst Public Utility District. That's about a $175 million project. For us, that's huge. We've been working diligently, and we were last month awarded a $75 million grant towards this project from the State Water Resources Control Board. We're working with them right now to finalize those documents. The balance of the project is going to be funded by contributions from Wheatland, from OPUD, Olivehurst. We've applied for several other grants, and Yuba Water Agency has been a major partner in this project, and their board has agreed to loan Olivehurst and Wheatland the remaining funds that are needed to complete this project. We are actually planning to go to bid for the first phase of this project next month in October, and start construction in early 2026. And our plan is to have the new regional wastewater system up and running by mid 2028. So that, for us, that is a huge project, and really is what we need for the city to continue to operate the way we are and to function in the future. There we go. Another major project that's not nearly as far along as the last one is the Beale Expressway. This project will connect northern Placer County to southern Yuba County over the Bear River. It will start at Riosa Road, right off of Highway 65, and go out to Spenceville Road. This is the first part of a much larger, long-term project to try and direct traffic around Wheatland. But for the Beale Expressway, this project will meet the current critical needs for access to Beale Air Force Base, as you heard this morning, and address a number of traffic and safety concerns. I think Colonel Typort this morning talked about this, their need for a reliable access point to the base. This project will provide access to Beale Air Force Base and reduce traffic congestion and delays on Highway 65, as well as improving access to Beale in the event of emergency. We've had situations. Right now, there's only one bridge over the Bear River, and we have had instances in the past where there's an accident on 65 and there's no way in or out. So we also had a back in 2017 when the Oroville Dam failed and there was a mass evacuation out, we actually had to close the northbound lane of Highway 65 to get the traffic out. So this this project will improve, we think, also air quality by reducing delays and diverting traffic to a new local road. We worked with the city of Wheatland, worked with Yuba County, and we formed the South Yuba Transportation Improvement Authority. And this entity is tasked with looking at trying to identify ways to get this project moving forward. A less glamorous project that we're working on is our general plan update. The city of Wheatland's general plan goes back to 2006, so it's almost 20 years old, and things change a whole lot in a lot less than 20 years. We have hired a consultant. We have a ad hoc committee, which is made up of our 5 council members and our 5 planning commission members. Those 2 entities meet fairly regularly. We've held a number of public meetings. The last one was this past Tuesday night to update our general plan to what we think we want Wheatland to, how we want Wheatland to look in the future. And we hope to have that a draft of that general plan available in early 2026. Another project, and this is the last one that I'll touch on, but it's our comprehensive drinking water project. We have been working for the last several years on upgrades to our water system. We have replaced all of our meters, residential and commercial meters. We just last week changed out 2 of our largest water meters. We implemented an automated billing system, which was a shock for a lot of people when they got their water bills. When any of you that know water, old meters read low and new meters read accurate. So people saw an increase in their water bill, and that was a little bit of a culture shock that we have worked through. Our final pieces of this project, we are working to increase our pressure system and upgrade our SCADA and telemetry system. Yes, ma'am. Yes. No. Knock on wood. Not right
Do you
now.
have any issues? Do you have any water quality issues?
We don't. We are very
Great.
fortunate. We don't.
And do you have a secondary, oops. Yes. You have a secondary supply, or are you
No.
exclusively
We
groundwater?
are exclusively groundwater.
Okay, because you could end up on the safer list as a failing system. Okay, that's
Yeah.
not the purpose of this meeting. All right.
We do all of our required reporting, and we so far have met all of our requirements. I think our challenge right now has been on the wastewater side. Some of the opportunities, the economic opportunities that we are fortunate to have. The first one on my list is the Yuba Applied Research Center, which you'll hear about right after I sit down. We have plenty of open space and opportunities for commercial development. One business that is in Wheatland currently, a manufacturing facility that's in Wheatland is Pottery World. For any of you that shop in Rockland at Pottery World or their other facilities, they actually right now have a metal building over on the other side of the railroad tracks near City Hall, where they manufacture a lot of their pottery. They have purchased about 40 acres out Highway 65, and their plan is to move and expand their manufacturing plant out there. And there has been some talk, and we're hoping that, I mean, that's a few years out, but they have been, Jim Rada, who is Mr. Pottery World, has been talking about eventually building something similar to what's in Rockland here, and that would be huge for this whole area. We have a fair amount of interest in residential development. We have one development, Calaterra, that's built their first phase of homes just over here on the other side of Bishops, near the high school. Their next phase is, and their build out phase will be about 500 additional homes. There are other developments that we are talking to that have interest in coming to Wheatland. Agritourism is huge in Wheatland. This facility right now is probably our major source, our largest source of revenue to the city of Wheatland, comes from Bishop's Pumpkin Farm, and then Beale Air Force Base. You heard from Beale this morning. They are, we believe, the largest employer, certainly the largest employer in this area. And I think if we looked out, they are the largest employer in a fairly large footprint. They are a very good partner with us. We work very closely with them. We know what their needs are, and we are working closely with them to try and meet those needs. Some of the challenges that this city is facing, one of them that's kind of hard to see on this map, but that line that goes right through the city is bisected. Highway 65 goes right through the middle of the city. That causes a significant amount of traffic congestion. There's a lot of big trucks that go up and down Highway 65. That is also, it's a safety issue that we have a high school, we have a middle school and an elementary school. We have a lot of children that families that live on the right side of the screen, and the schools are on the left side of the screen. And a lot of these kids have to cross Highway 65 to get to school. The other associated challenge is right next to Highway 65 is a railroad. And that railroad crossing runs straight through the city of Wheatland. We actually have 5 crossings in Wheatland over that railroad. And again, that is a path that kids walk to get to school. That's not an ideal situation. Our roadways in Wheatland continue to be a challenge that we are working with. Our PCI index is 41. That's it's nothing we're proud of. That's not a good number. We're in the 12th percentile for a city our size. We have very limited funding for road repair work. Our budget this year for our pavement maintenance, which we're just going to get started on the first week of October, is $350,000. And you can't do a whole lot with $350,000. One of our street related projects is Wheatland Road Complete Streets. Wheatland, that would go from Highway 65 down Wheatland Road and replace curbs, gutters, and sidewalks and lighting along that route. That is a main walking route for students walking or riding bikes to the elementary and high school in Wheatland. We have obtained funding for design of that project, which is about $250,000. City council awarded a contract for that several months ago. We're still looking for funding of a little over $2 million to complete that project. So those are some of our challenges. I think we are fortunate, and I can speak for the city council when I say this, is we have had support from SACOG, and we appreciate that. There are projects that are in your 2025 blueprint. Some of them are a ways out, but at least they're in there. If we can scooch them forward at some point, that would be great, but at least they're on paper. We have two complete street projects, Wheatland Road, which I just talked about briefly, is in 2029, and a Main Street project is out in 2040. We have 5 other projects that are in the 2025 blueprint. One of them, probably the largest one on this page, well, largest one, one of the largest ones for us in there is Spencerville Road. And that is, again, if you went out on the bus this morning, you didn't get the full impact of driving down Spencerville Road because that bus was a new bus. And that is, right now, that is one of the main traffic routes for Beale coming and going. And that traffic backs up in the morning and in the evening. And that road, if you want the real feel for driving down Spencerville Road, you just drive it in your car and you don't even have to go at a fast rate of speed. So those are projects that are in the blueprint. There is one project that is in the blueprint, but it's noted as pending further discussion with sponsor. And I will stand here today and tell you that we are ready to meet and have those discussions. So I'm looking at James too, and So with that, I just want to thank you for coming today. We appreciate your partnership, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a sphere of influence?
Yes.
And did you show a map of that?
I don't have a map with me. I can get you a map.
No.
Yeah.
Good.
Good question.
Okay.
Any other questions for Mr. Zanoni? All right, well, thank you very much for the
Thank you.
presentation. I think I'm reminded of the old saying, it's not whether you grow, but how you grow. And whether you're 4,000 population or 480,000 population like Sacramento, we're facing a lot of similar challenges of infrastructure, taking care of what we have. So thank you for bringing this to our attention. Okay, our next speaker, Lon, you going to speak?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to speak today. Again, I'm Alon Hatamiya, and I'm going to speak to you in my role as Executive Director of the Yuba Applied Research Center. Bill mentioned this to you in his comments. It's an exciting development we have in Yuba County. I'm joined today by my Associate Director, Leonard Spiegel. Lenny is a retired YouTube pilot, and I'm doing my best to hire former YouTube pilots on my staff. In addition to Lenny, he was not able to join us today. James Bartran is the past deputy commander at Beale. He is recently retired, but he's joined us as community partnership director. So as I said, we're doing our share to hire YouTube pilots and ensure full employment in Yuba County. I'm really pleased to be here today. I want to welcome you to my home county. I am a third generation farmer from the north part of this county. In District 10, and I'm very proud to have you here. Just to give you really quickly my background, I've had the opportunity and pleasure to work on a number of SACOG projects over the years. I have my own consulting firm. I've been consulting for the Yuba Water Agency for the last 7 years. And I've also been an economic consultant to the city of Wheatland for the last 5 years. And so previous to that, I was the Secretary of Technology, Trade and Commerce for California back in the late 90s, early 2000s under Governor Davis. Prior to that, I was also headed up 2 different agencies at USDA, the Ag Marketing Service, and the Foreign Ag Service. And so I bring a wealth of hopefully knowledge to this role in providing a unique perspective for what a small county like Yuba can do in terms of economic development, but also how it can contribute to the economic development of the region. We are also proud members of SACOG. I'm a 26-year resident of Davis and Yolo County. Lenny lives in Placer County. Colonel Barchan also lives in Placer County. So we cover the full spectrum of SACOG areas. Many of you may know my son as well. He's communications director to Doris Matsui. So we cover a lot of ground when it comes to my family. Let me quickly go through a presentation. I'm an economist, so I like to provide a PowerPoint, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. So let me see. I'm going to talk to you briefly about the Yuba Applied Research Center. This was created based upon an economic plan that I did for the Yuba Water Agency for Yuba County a number of years ago. We proposed the creation of the center as a catalyst for economic growth and improved quality of life for Yuba County and really the greater Sacramento region. You heard today in your brief visit to Beale, the importance of Beale to national security, but also to the economy of this region. Beale in itself contributes over $2 billion worth of economic impact to this region. And I'm glad many of you, if you had not had the chance to visit Beale, had the opportunity to do so. I took the chairman out probably a year or so ago, as well as many of other board members out to Beale because it's important. I served as an honorary commander to the former deputy commander, and it really opened my eyes to the importance of Beale to not only, again, as I said, national security, but to the importance of Northern California. In addition to conducting technology and policy research, we look at the YARC development as identifying, training a talented workforce and providing a collaborative environment that links Yuba County to regional, state, and national efforts. Our vision is as a coordinating entity for facilitating, again, these activities in technology, agriculture, and energy resource as an economic driver for the future of the prosperity of Yuba County. But again, I want to highlight the prosperity of the region. It's important to note we're really a virtual center at this current time. AKT Development, and there's development to the east of Wheatland, has donated 15 acres for the development of an actual campus for us. Over the next 12 months, we'll be developing that as a center of our efforts. And we're going to talk real briefly about what are some of the focuses of our efforts as we begin the development of the YARC. Quickly, again, as I mentioned, coordinating technology and policy research, talent recruitment, retention, and management, really critical for economic development. We've developed relationships with UC Davis, with Sac State, Chico State, Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, and Sandia National Laboratory. There's a DoD Skill Bridge program that Lenny went through when he came out of the Air Force. We believe that there's a great opportunity to recruit those retiring from the Air Force as well as the State Space Force into our local economy, as well as develop STEAM programs within our K through 12, our community colleges, as well as any other educational opportunities. We're also focused on engagements and partnerships. Through this effort over the last couple of years, we've developed what's called a CRADA, a Collaborative Research and Development Agreement with the Air Force Combat Command, which is a command that oversees Beale. I'm sure you were educated on that this morning. We entered into that CRADA earlier this year, and Lenny will talk briefly about some of the areas that we're going to focus in on over the next several years. Our core focus areas are things that are important to this region. Agricultural technology, including AI, wildfire prediction, prevention and containment, forestry resilience, power and water demand forecasting, emergency response planning, energy sustainability and resilience, data and digital architecture, and then space systems integration. These are things that can create jobs within our communities, and this is our focus over the next several months. Again, in collaboration with the City of Wheatland, the Yuba Water Agency, and the University of California at Davis, and the U.S. Air Force, we've created a 501c3, which is what the YARC is. And with those collaborative partners, we've been able to develop a board made up of City of Wheatland representatives and Yuba Water Agency representatives, and soon to add UC Davis representatives as well. And this will allow us to really create a synergy and collaborative effort that will benefit us economically. I'm going to turn to Lenny to talk a little bit about our research focus areas of what we're going to focus in on. These are exciting because they expand beyond just agriculture that's been a mainstay of Yuba County historically, but also there are many other things that we can build upon, especially with the change in mission at Beal.
Thank you, Lon, and thank you all for hosting us this morning. As Lon mentioned, right now we're operating as a coordinating entity, so we don't have infrastructure supporting the lab. So a lot of the things that we need to focus on are things that we could do either virtually or through site visits. Currently, we have three main areas, including the Beal Air Force Base land use, unmanned systems integration and automation, and then collaborative partnerships with Air Combat Command, DARPA, which is the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, as well as UC Davis. When you think of the Beal Air Force Base land and utilities, as Bill mentioned earlier, the wastewater treatment plant has a direct impact on Beal Air Force Base. So we leverage the connections that we have inside the fence line with those of the connections that we have outside the fence line to ensure that some of these larger strategic infrastructure projects are meeting both the needs of the local residents as well as the base. For the unmanned systems automation, many of you have probably seen in the news, the nature of warfare has changed. There's been a lot of applications for small drones and small unmanned aircraft systems. From our perspective, this is a growth opportunity, both economically and from a research perspective. And with the vast amount of power, land, and resources that we have here in Northern California, there's no reason why that work should not be done here locally as a catalyst for economic growth. And then as Lon mentioned, our collaborative research and development agreement with Air Combat Command is focused purely on future missions at Beal Air Force Base. What that does is that enables us to go into the University of California school system to recruit talented young engineers, researchers, and scientists to work on national strategic level projects. In the very first line there, you see the DARPA Rubber Project, which is a great example of how you can bridge national security objectives with local applications. DARPA has a request out for a program within their Agriculture Biological Technologies Office to look at areas where you can pivot agriculture and other types of natural resource projects to meet national security demands. So right now, as a coordinating entity, our main focus is trying to identify those national level projects with local researchers.
And I'm going to end our comments real briefly by recognizing SACOG. Without SACOG's investment in local communities like Wheatland, we wouldn't be standing here before you talking about the development of a YARC. And I mentioned this to James, and I know he's well aware of this. I think 6 years ago, SACOG provided funding to the City of Wheatland that enabled them to hire me to do the initial analysis for the city in terms of an economic plan, but an employment center, an employment area for the Wheatland development. And it's because of those funds and those types of projects through SACOG, they were able to expand upon this initiative. So James, thank you for that commitment, but also thank you to all of you for that commitment. I mentioned I've worked on several SACOG projects over the last decade, and each of them have had major impacts upon the communities that they serve. And we really are excited about this development, and really would entertain any questions. One last thing I'll mention, really pleased to be here at Bishop's. Bishop's is not only a major employer and economic driver of Yuba County. In addition to my many roles, I'm also the owner of the local minor league baseball team. And Bishop's is one of our major sponsors. And so they provide, so I'm going to invite the SACOG board to hold a meeting at one of our games next season.
I love that idea.
And you'll get served a lot of the food that you get served here at Bishop's, because again, they're a major partner of ours. But again, this is the greater commitment that I have to this community. I see Mayor Branscombe here. Thank you, Mayor Branscombe, for his commitment to Marysville and my team. And so again, welcome to Yuba County, and thank you for your commitment to being here today.
Yeah, thank you, Lon. Yeah, any questions for Lon or Lenny?
Chair, soon, I just want to say, thank you, Lon. And you had mentioned the last 6 years. Most of our board members here today were not here 6 years ago. And so part of what I think is so important is to bring speakers like Lon to tell you the ways in which this board and this agency and you and your predecessors have invested. People think of us, right, first and foremost as a transportation agency, but really what we are is a council of governments who has a very broad platform. Many of our tools in our toolbox are transportation, but some allow land use, economic development, and hiring very amazing people like Lon that can spin off ideas that actually get this far and incubate. So thank you for your leadership, Lon.
Yeah, and I as a SACOG board member, speak on behalf of the board, James, thank you and the staff for investing in this. When I see something like this, Lon and Lenny, these are seedlings. These are seedlings that we snap our fingers or close our eyes, and tomorrow there's a bustling research and development center with private investment, thousands of jobs, and a boon for the economy. So we're witnessing the beginnings of this, and so thank you for your leadership and your professional experience that really offers a lot of value in getting this going. So thank you very much. All right, I'm going to keep things moving because we've got a tight agenda here to get you out of here on time by noon. So our next item up is item 10, which are performance targets for the 6-county federal funding round. I'll introduce Sam Shelton for this topic. Sam, oh, there you are, Sam. Yeah.
Thank you.
Chair, soon. There we go. While Sam's getting his PowerPoint pulled up, I just wanted to let everybody know, and maybe I don't want to steal your thunder, Sam, because Sam's got a lot of thunder this morning. It's going to be pretty amazing. This came to the Transportation Committee as an information item. We wanted to bring it before you as one of just a couple of information items this morning, and it will come back for action. So this is just information. And those of you on transportation, yes, obviously heard a little bit of a longer presentation. I've asked Sam to shorten his presentation, at least the second one, so that we can indeed get you out of here on time.
I'll try to keep it at a fairly high level. Maybe not U2 level. That's like 70, 80,000 feet. I'll keep it a little closer to the ground. But we will be talking about funding round target setting. That's one of the first steps to start our 6-county federal funding round. Try to advance my slide. Almost. We'll walk through a handful of these bullets. Why are we setting targets? One, it's part of our response to a Federal Highways Administration corrective action. And that first step has to do with understanding the performance needs around the region with performance metrics through some of that target analysis. Then we'll move on to our first 6-county funding round, right? This is not something that we've done before, and we've never set targets like this before. Here, next slide. So what was that corrective action, right? Where the gist of it is that we cannot sub-allocate our federal funds to by population, right? And our response to that was to create a target setting process, looking at our needs using performance metrics. That's the first part of the process I'll talk about today. The second part has to do with the project selection process that most folks are familiar with how SACOG programs those dollars through a competitive funding round. Next slide. So what are targets? Targets are they're reflective of the diversity of each of our county's needs, right? They're meant to guide sponsors with their grant application decisions and really answer the question, what is a reasonable amount of money to request in grant applications? Here's what targets are not. They are not guarantees. This is not the four-county state transportation improvement program, the STIP that you may have just gone through. They're not as helpful for individual jurisdictions. These are county-wide statistics that I'll be chatting about in a second. They're not program specific. There are 3 programs in the funding round, and they have 2 different funding sources, state transportation, surface transportation block grants and the congestion mitigation and air quality programs, the STVG and CMAQ. There's 2 different funding sources there. And they're not a model. This is not a prediction of funding round awards, right? These numbers I'll be sharing with you in a second, they're not guarantees and are not a solid expectation of what we think the awards might become. And they're also not project scoring criteria. I mentioned this is a competitive funding program, 3 of them. And the metrics are not used to help us understand how to award those dollars. So that's a different project selection process. Next slide, please. So the target setting process that was outlined in our response to the federal corrective action has a number of steps. We've made it through 2 of those steps so far about estimating the amount of federal funds out there. Our draft estimates are about 182 million. We're still narrowing in on that. And we've looked at setting priority programs. We took that action last October about what those priority programs will be. Today, we're chatting about how we're calculating performance targets. That's where we are today. The next couple of steps will be about publishing those targets and solidifying the cash that will be part of those priority programs. That will be the action that you'll take next October. And next slide, please. So a bit about the timeline. We've been working on this for a number of years, from the beginnings of working through the federal corrective action steps and working closely with the funding round working group about what that future funding round will look like at a 6-county level. We also held initial discussions with a number of staff countywide in May about how the target setting process will be built. And then in June, through different countywide coordination meetings where members of the transportation team visit areas across the region and meet directly with your staff about what we're up to. In July, we also held a specific meeting with everyone from the different staff talking about how we are developing those targets. And then now in September, we're rolling out some of those initial information items in preparation for an October action, and then a call for projects for that 6-county round this spring. Next slide, please. So there's a lot of words on this slide, but that's all the different performance metrics that we're looking at. The response to the corrective action outlines 5 different groups, looking at safety, asset management, performance of our system, and then housing and emission statistics. So for safety, it's who is dying and being seriously injured on our roadways. For asset management, it's a mix of how is our pavement doing and what are our costs for replacing the vehicles, our transit vehicles, and their operating needs. For performance, it's the number of unreliable travel miles. So if the typical commute is somewhat reliable, you're planning for that trip, but then suddenly it's quite bad sometimes, you're planning for quite a bit more buffer time on that trip. The more buffer time you're planning into your trip, that's how much more unreliable that mode is. And again, a non-single occupant vehicle to work, that's everyone who's not driving alone. For the housing needs, that's our regional housing needs assessment, how many more units we need to build over the next 10 years. And then emissions is the people who are exposed to specific air quality indicators. So who's breathing perhaps the worst air statewide, we're measuring those populations. Next slide, please. So if you take all of those needs across all 6 counties by those groups, you can create shares of those needs. And after looking at those different shares, you can weight them in a way to reflect our regional needs. So after talking with all of your local staff and looking at a handful of different scenarios about how to weight those needs, we landed on a housing weighted focus where 50% of those shares will be weighted towards housing and the rest about 12.5%. We also discussed at the Transportation Committee meeting about some of the specifics for some of these metrics that rely on creating rates with population-based numbers. And we tried to address some of those changes by taking out some populations from the Tahoe Basin. And they made small changes highlighted in yellow, a little bit to El Dorado and a bit to Sacramento as well. Next slide, please. So when you apply those percentages across about 182 million that we're currently estimating, you get these ranges of dollar amounts at the 100% level. And the range goes from 120 to 80, just to give a spread of trying to create that guide for your project sponsors, for your planners and your engineers, right? At the 100% level, we're expecting, if awards were at that amount, that would be a very competitive year for your agencies. We would imagine very beneficial projects that were highly competitive. At the 80% level, that's more of a dip in that kind of funding round history, right? Where perhaps you're busy delivering and planning the next funding round cycle's worth of competitive projects.
Question. May I ask a question? Thank you. Could you go back to the previous slide? The housing focus weights, a significant change for my county and Sutter County as a percentage change from the unweighted to the weighted. Tell me about housing focus weights. How did that come out to be a focus for a final adjustment, particularly a significant adjustment in terms of a percentage drop from 5.8% down to 4.5 in Yuba County's case, and down from 5% to 4.2%? The percentage drop, not just the 0.8, but the percentage of the total drop is significant on those two. And so I think some explanations, at least to you in Sutter County, would be useful. Maybe not here, but at some point.
I'm happy to go into the details with you later, but I can explain now that we looked at a handful of different scenarios with different weights, and local staff's feedback from last July asked us to look at the housing focused scenario more, as it reflected a lot of the needs as the region grows. Where will we need those units, and what will the demand look like into the future?
Okay, we'll talk about this.
Thank you. If we can go to the slide after next. Right, again, this is an information item. Your next steps will be to consider acting on not only the targets, but also what the priority programs and the available funding will look like in October. Will be part of action items then. I'd be happy to answer other questions about the targets.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Any questions for Mr. Shelton? Okay, seeing none, this is an information item. I just want to make a quick comment on back to the federal regulations that was the impetus for this analysis. This is just another example how these types of things force or at the very least influence the evolution of this board and the business that we do and how we make our decisions. All right. Thank you, Mr. Sheldon. We're going to go on. I know you're up for item 11 as well, right? 26 federal funding round, system preservation and system performance programs, funding allocation.
Yeah, I mentioned in the last item, we were at a draft estimate about 182 million. About 100 of that is estimated to be surface transportation block grant funds, some of our most flexible funds. We'll be splitting that amount between two different programs. Next slide, please. The system preservation program, which has a lot more to do with maintaining our major roadways across the region with preventative maintenance treatments versus, say, the system performance program, which can also do roadway reconstruction, but we also expect more from those projects, more mobility benefits from those projects. Say you can see not just roadway pavement rehabilitation on the right, but also bike lanes and crosswalks to address bicycle and pedestrian safety needs, or managed capacity, as you see the causeway on the right, or transit vehicle replacement, or other safety needs such as traffic signals. Next slide, please. We were considering three options. One is more of a status quo option. If you invested about 20% within this floor for this preservation program for the funding round and 80% for performance, you would see a similar amount of pavement investment that we've seen in the past from about the last 2 or 3 different funding rounds. If you were to raise that floor, that 45% to system preservation, you get closer to the measured needs that Caltrans has been estimating for our arterial system across the region for the national roadway system, national highway system. And the last one, the interim strategic investment, recognizes that these needs are quite large. We're estimating $7.2 billion to address our local streets and roads needs over the next 10 years. And the available federal funds that CACOG has to bring to bear on that is quite small, really drops in the bucket. But in the meantime, we'd like to consider an interim strategic investment that's a bit more than just the status quo. Next slide, please. But what do we talk about when we talk about system preservation? We're talking about the difference between 1 mile of preventative maintenance for the same dollars versus $26 on the road reconstruction side. And I don't want to get into too many of the details. I do want to get you out of here by noon. I'd be happy to stop there and chat about any pavement needs or answer your questions later on offline.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Any questions first, Mr. Sheldon? All right, seeing none, well, thank you again. This is another information item. Look forward to further discussions on this. Next, we're going to go to chair reports. I don't have anything to report other than I'm going to look forward to seeing you all next month down south in Elk Grove. But I do want to thank Mayor Teeter and County Supervisor Mr. Bradford for hosting us here in the Bishop's Ranch. Thank you for showing us Wheatland. Yes, go ahead, Mayor.
Before you leave today too, there are caramel apples on the table, so. if you
Oh,
could-
yes. Thank
Yes,
you. Yeah.
They passed out this little treat to go.
Oh,
And then
no,
we
thank
expect
you.
that to see everyone at the slide. We got to go down the brand new slide that just opened last week.
Awesome. Wheatland Tennis, that's a good call. And Lon, we look forward to seeing these out on the diamond next year too. These are always great. All right. Thank you very much. This is delicious. Any reports from any of our board members? Yeah, Vice Chair, go ahead. Yeah.
Just one quick announcement. On Saturday, it's Hot Chili Cool Cars in Rockland. So it is a sold out car show and about 10 to 15,000 people come to see. You get a chance to sample chili, vote for the best one. And we've ordered perfect weather for Saturday. So hopefully you could join us.
Perfect. Love chili. Anyone else? Okay, moving on, receive and file items. Are there any questions or comments from receive and file? If not, our next meeting is October 16th at 9:30 back at SACOG. Thanks, everybody. Have a great